Hey creators, I'm Cynthia Fisher of Creative You, crafting tutorials for all. But today, I'm here with a project for the Tiny Pandora design team. Let me tell you all about it. In this video, I'll show you how to make these easy silk-screened buttons. It's a great beginner's project, but more advanced clayers will enjoy it too. Now, let's talk about what you'll need to make the buttons. To make the buttons, I created mini blends using the medium triangle template from the Tiny Pandora Beads and Blends kit. To create the blends, you'll need small amounts of clay in 2 or 3 different colors. I used Primo accents for my blends. The mica particles in Primo accents make really pretty blends. You'll need small shaped cutters. The cutters I used were 1 inch and 1.5 inch sized. You'll also need a silk screen, a container of water, metallic acrylic paint, and a squeegee. You'll need a texture sponge to texture the back of the button, a clay blade, a craft knife, a corn cob holder to create holes in your buttons, some small circle cutters to widen the holes in the button, and some liquid Sculpey clear. Okay, go gather all your supplies and let's start making some buttons. Begin by rolling out 2 or 3 colors of clay at the thickest setting of your pasta machine. If you don't have a pasta machine, you can roll the clay out to a thickness between 1/16 and 1/8 of an inch. I used about 1/2 ounce of each color. And I rolled out the clay so that it was only about 2 inches wide, but between 6 and 8 inches long. Then, use the medium triangle template from the Beads and Blends kit to cut triangles from each color of clay. If you don't have the Beads and Blends kit, you can create a template from cardstock. The medium triangle in the kit is 3/4 of an inch at its base and 8 inches long, so that's what size you'd make your template. Once the triangles are cut, line them up like this, with the points alternating up and down. Use your fingers to press them together to get them to adhere to one another. You can also use an acrylic roller to get them to adhere to one another. Fold the clay in half, like this, the long way. Then put the clay through the pasta machine, fold first. Continue folding and rolling until you get a blend that you like. Remember to fold in the same direction each time. And always put the blend through the machine fold side first. This is how my blends looked after about 20 passes through the pasta machine. The nice thing about these blends is that they're so small you can really make them without a pasta machine. I made these blends just by folding and rolling with an acrylic roller. It takes longer, but it's very doable. Once your clay is blended, it will have a striped pattern. Put it through your pasta machine the long way with the stripes oriented vertically. Roll the clay out to the medium setting on your pasta machine. If you don't have a pasta machine, the clay should be about 1.5 millimeters thick. Fill a container with water. Then place your silkscreen on the clay and burnish it with your fingers. Place a line of paint on one end of the silkscreen. I used a copper metallic paint. Then draw the paint over the silkscreen with a squeegee. Place the squeegee in the water and then carefully remove the silkscreen from the clay. Then immediately place your silkscreen in the water. Once the paint has dried thoroughly, use your cutters to cut some shapes from the clay. Use a corncob holder to create guide holes for the buttonholes. Use a small circle cutter to widen the holes. Then, cure the buttons at the manufacturer's recommended temperature for 30 minutes. When the buttons have cured and cooled, apply some liquid clay to the back. Place the button on a sheet of clay and cut around it with your craft knife. I used a sheet of clay that had been rolled out at the thickest setting of my pasta machine, but the thickness here is really a personal choice. Use a texture sheet to texture the clay on the back of the button. Then use your clay blade to remove any excess clay from the edge of the button. Use the texture sheet to retexture the edges of the button. Make sure you press inward. Use your small cutter to reopen the holes of the button. Then, cure the button face down on a piece of paper at the manufacturer's recommended temperatures for 30 minutes. When the button has cured and cooled, apply liquid Sculpey Clear to the top of the button. Use a toothpick to spread it around. Be careful to avoid the holes in the button. Once the entire top of the button is covered with the liquid clay, cure the button tented at the manufacturer's recommended temperature for 10 to 20 minutes. If you'd like, you could use UV resin for this step. Once the liquid clay has cured, your buttons are ready to wear. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and share. Don't forget to subscribe, and be sure to check out all the other great videos from the Tiny Pandora design team. Until next time, keep creating.